On 1st December 1992, a baby boy named Kraigg Brathwaite was born in the cricket-mad island of Barbados, a land known for producing legends like Sir Garfield Sobers and the three W's, Walcott, Weeks and Worrell. From the moment he could hold a bat, Kraigg wasn't just playing cricket, he was living it. Kraigg was quiet, observant and reflective, a boy of few words but deep focus. At Combermere School, a hub of academic and athletic excellence in St. Michael, Barbados, he stood out, not for flash or flair, but for a stubborn resilience, especially with a cricket bat in hand. Among his schoolmates was the future global pop icon Rihanna, who noticed the shy boy and often defended him when others bullied him on the school bus. The pop princess and the budding cricketer forged a quiet friendship, and Rihanna's kindness gave young Kraigg a sense of strength. "She always had my back," Kraigg once hinted during an interview, flashing his rare smile. By age 14, Brathwaite was already writing his story in cricket's sacred text. 28 centuries in local cricket before being noticed by national selectors wasn't just a statistic, it was a prophecy. In 2008, Kraigg's name rolled off selectors' tongues as he smashed a debut 122 runs for West Indies U15 in the Clicquot International Under-15 Cricket Championships. He was calm, calculated, and clinical, a boy playing like a man. The cricketing gods had spoken. The following year, at just 16 years old, he made his first-class debut for combined campuses and colleges against Barbados, scoring a solid 73. That same month, he was selected to represent Barbados in a first-class match against Guyana. It wasn't just a selection, it was a coronation. At the 2010 ICC U19 World Cup in New Zealand, Kraigg stood tall once again. With 335 runs in 6 innings at an average of 67, he outshone peers from across the globe. He wasn't just another Caribbean kid dreaming big, he was already becoming a force. Opportunity knocked unexpectedly in June 2009 when senior West Indies players went on strike. A teenage Brathwaite was suddenly in the test squad to face Bangladesh. Though he didn't play that series, the door had opened, and Kraigg wasn't letting it shut. Fast forward to May 2011. Brathwaite finally made his test debut against Pakistan. Opening the batting with Lendl Simmons, the young right-hander showed the world a different brand of Caribbean cricket, anchored, old school, and unshakable. Just 6 months later, he became only the second West Indian to score 2 Test 50s before his 19th birthday. A boy with a bat, walking like a monk, preaching the gospel of patience. Brathwaite's journey wasn't without hurdles. Visa delays meant he missed 2 tests on a 2013 New Zealand tour. But when he got his chance, he played with the determination of someone with unfinished business. In September 2014, he hit a majestic 212 against Bangladesh, announcing himself as a long-form specialist. It wasn't just 100, it was a message. Kraigg had arrived. His bowling, initially more of a novelty, shocked the world in 2015. Against Sri Lanka in Colombo, Brathwaite's part-time off-spin dismantled the hosts with career-best figures of 6/29. From a single test wicket in his first 20 matches to suddenly becoming a match winner, it was as if destiny whispered, "Let the quiet ones speak." In November 2016, Brathwaite etched his name in cricket folklore by doing the unthinkable. He carried his bat with 142 not out in the first innings against Pakistan and followed it up with an unbeaten 60 in the second. He became the first opener in Test history to remain unbeaten in both innings. No drama, no dance, just pure, undiluted grit. The following year, he stood tall at Headingley alongside Shea Hope, scripting a sensational 246-run partnership. Brathwaite's 134-run vigil in the second test silenced critics, stunned England, and made Windies fans believe again. The winds of change arrived in 2020. With Jason Holder stepping aside, Kraigg Brathwaite was named captain of the West Indies Test team. At a time when West Indies cricket was plagued by inconsistency, Brathwaite offered something it hadn't had in years: stability. Under his leadership, a second-string West Indies team stunned Bangladesh 2-0 in 2021. He led not with fiery speeches, but through example. In the second test against Sri Lanka that same year, he spent 813 minutes at the crease, scoring 126 in the first innings. The monk-like focus had returned. In March 2022, Brathwaite created history again, this time against England. His 160-run knock in the first innings and an unbeaten 56 in the second became part of one of the longest batting efforts in cricket history. He spent a jaw-dropping 955 minutes, 15 hours and 45 minutes at the crease, breaking Brian Lara's record for most balls faced in a test match by a West Indian. He was no longer just the captain. He was the wall, the metronome, the man holding a fractured cricketing nation together, one delivery at a time. Off the pitch, Kraigg is a paradox, one of the quietest figures in Caribbean cricket, yet among its most impactful. Known for his humility, work ethic, and understated leadership, Kraigg shuns the limelight. There's no social media circus, no controversial soundbites, just a man doing his job with monk-like discipline. His personal life is just as private. He is married to his longtime partner, whose identity has largely been kept out of public eyes, a reflection of Kraigg's protective nature. The couple has 2 children, and Kraigg credits his family as his sanctuary. "Cricket gives me purpose. My family gives me peace," he once shared in a rare interview. A captain's legacy. By 2023, Kraigg Brathwaite had led the Windies to draw a test series in Australia, something that hadn't happened in 27 years. In January 2025, he led a young West Indies side to a historic victory in Pakistan, breaking a 35-year drought on Pakistani soil. But in March 2025, after 3 years of steering the ship through choppy waters, Kraigg stepped down from captaincy. It was a graceful exit, a passing of the torch rather than a fall from grace. He left behind a legacy that wasn't defined by flashy strokes or bombastic leadership. Instead, his legacy was rooted in his unmatched patience, his unbreakable defense, and his spiritual connection with the game. He wasn't the hero we shouted for, but he was the one we needed. Kraigg Brathwaite's story is the story of quiet rebellion. In an age where loud personalities dominate headlines, Kraigg whispered his greatness. While others sought glory, he sought time at the crease. He redefined leadership not as command, but as consistency. Not as charisma, but as commitment. He's not just the man who stood tall in England, carried the bat in Sharjah, or stunned Sri Lanka with the ball. He's the boy from Barbados who was once bullied on a school bus, quietly befriended Rihanna, and went on to become the backbone of West Indies cricket. He's Kraigg Brathwaite, a wall, a warrior, a watchman, and above all, the embodiment of resilience. As the Caribbean sun sets on one of its most unshakable suns, Kraigg Brathwaite continues to bat, not just for runs, not just for glory, but for the values he believes in: patience, humility, resolve. And maybe, just maybe, when the cricketing world looks back at the quiet man With the steely eyes and unbreakable defense, they'll realize that heroes don't always roar. Sometimes they just bat, and bat, and bat. Please subscribe for more legendary stories.